In today's video, I'm going to give you a few annual enrollment mistakes that you want to avoid because it could cost you hundreds and even thousands of dollars. What's up, friends? Rob here, the Medicare Minister with Agape Insurance in Financial Group in North Mississippi. And today I want to highlight a few mistakes that you want to avoid as we go into the open enrollment period, or AEP, or the annual enrollment period, because it could cost you a lot of money on the back end. So mistake number one is not doing anything at all, just not simply reviewing your drug plan or your Medicare Advantage plan. Now, before I dive into that, what is this AEP you're talking about? It's simply the one time a year that Medicare gives you, the Medicare beneficiary, to review if you're on a prescription drug plan, or review your Medicare Advantage plan, also known as a Part C plan, to see if it's still the best plan for you going forward. If you do not know this, these plans are only on one-year contracts, which means these carriers can change them year by year. So just because this plan, if you're on a Medicare prescription drug plan, or if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, just because those plans have worked for you in the past doesn't mean they're going to work for you going forward. And by you not taking time to review that could cost you a lot of money. As a matter of fact, many beneficiaries say that they don't review their drug plans or their Medicare Advantage plans because they say that Medicare is so overwhelming and confusing. And since it has worked in the past, they just want to keep it going like it is. But that is a major mistake that I see a lot of people make, and it comes back to haunt them throughout the year. So by now, you should have received what's known as an annual notice of change letter. They're highlighting the changes that may come to the formulary, the premium, deductibles, the coinsurance, and so on and so forth. And this annual notice of change letter are sent out because CMS, Medicare, wants you to review and to possibly reshop those plans every year, that they mandate that the carriers send these out to you. So that's how important it is to Medicare, and that's how important it needs to be to you as well. So mistake number two goes along with mistake number one, and that is the reason that you want to review and possibly reshop your plan is because it may mean that you're not going to stick with the same carrier for the following year. So I see this all the time where people go, well, I have a plan with Humana or Aetna, WellCare, or whatever carrier they may have. And they go, it's worked for me these past few years, so we'll just keep riding this train, so to speak, and we will keep our fingers crossed that it's going to work for us in the coming year. And that is a huge mistake because these plans change frequently. Once again, these are one-year contracts. And so these carriers, these companies can change these plans from year to year. And especially a diagnosis that you didn't have last year, or especially if the doctor, your provider, has given you a prescription drug or drugs that you didn't have last year, you definitely want to make sure that for the coming year that it's covered adequately and that it's even covered at all. I've seen this many, many times, I should say, throughout my Medicare advisor journey where beneficiaries, because they don't review it, they just kind of go along with it, and then they're put on a drug and they thought it would be covered, and then that carrier take it out of the formulary altogether, and it wind up costing them full price. And if it's a high tier drug, that could be hundreds and even thousands of dollars over, that 1 year period. And unfortunately, unless you have some type of special enrollment or you get some type of extra help through Medicare, you're pretty much stuck on that plan till the following annual enrollment period. So mistake number two is it's not always best to stay with the same carrier just because it's worked for you in the past or covered your medicines in the past well. You always want to review that and reshop that just to make sure that doesn't come back to haunt you. Additionally, when it comes to Medicare Advantage plans or Part C plans, staying with the same carrier could be a problematic situation for you because with the Medicare Advantage plans or Part C plans, there's two main types. There's HMOs, which are very restricted, which means I can only go in the network. And there's PPOs, which means I can go in and out of the network. I just pay a little bit more on my end to go out of the network. So why is this important? Why am I bringing this up? Because let's say this past year you were put on an HMO plan because that was the best plan for you in that area. Maybe there wasn't a PPO plan available, but now going forward into the following year, there is a PPO plan available. And if I was your advisor, I'm always going to recommend that people go on PPOs if there's one available in their area, because the HMO is so restrictive. And there's nothing worse than if you get referred to a hospital, a provider outside of the network, that now you're stuck paying full price for that particular visit. So you always want to review your Medicare Advantage plans year by year, because once again, they're one-year contracts and you don't want to get stuck in something that could wind up hurting you throughout the year. If you are getting value out of this video, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. This just helps us get found by more Medicare beneficiaries like yourself, and it gives us the opportunity to help them. And by the way, if you are needing an advisor, a seasoned broker to sit down with you, we would be more than happy to do that at no cost, no obligation to you. The number's on the screen. Please call us today, and we would be more than happy to help you. We work in most states, and if we're not in your state, we have a trusted network of advisors that we can refer you to. And this leads me to mistake number 3. And this is where too many people, or beneficiaries that is, try to do this on their own. And if you remember in the beginning of the video, I said the number one reason why many beneficiaries don't review and reshop their drug plans or their Medicare Advantage plans is because they say it's too complicated. So mistake number 3 to avoid is trying to do it on your own. And I know some of you go, well, Rob, I'm really smart, I got this. And I'm not saying that's not the case. However, sit down with someone who does this all year round. Sit down with someone who has studied and been certified to advise you in the right direction. Once again, this is at no cost, no obligation to you. There's that old saying, it's better to be safe than sorry, but sit down with an advisor who can help navigate all of that. We have tools that we utilize that we can put your medications in, your doctors in, and it literally tells us the best plan for your specific zip code. So quickly, let me recap. Mistake number 1 we want to avoid, that is not reviewing our plans at all. Mistake number 2 is thinking that we should just stay with the same carrier because it's always worked for us. And then mistake number 3 is trying to do it on our own, when really we should get a seasoned advisor, a specialist who specializes in Medicare to help us navigate through all the different hurdles and nuances of these plans. Well, once again, if we can help you at all, please call the number on the screen. Myself or my team would be more than happy to help you at no cost, no obligation to you. God bless you guys. Make it an awesome day, and we'll see you on the next video.